So now that I've got this trunk that's just in the factory EDP coating or whatever they call it, it's time to get some paint on it. And getting ready to pull this all apart, and I thought, you know, I always hated the way that the spoiler has this weird rain-catching lip. It just looks like it's an afterthought. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be. It just like I stuck a Lego on here. So I think what I'm going to do is actually bond this to the trunk lid itself, since I'd have to paint this to make, you know, it blend properly anyways. So I'm going to show how to do it. A couple different products I'm going to use. Shouldn't be a horribly big deal. I think it'll be a fairly quick and easy upgrade to make this look a lot more smooth, like it was actually supposed to come with a spoiler instead of this rain catching, can never really dry your car in the driveway with a towel, and it constantly drips because this thing holds water kind of situation. So I'm going to show you a little bit closer what I'm talking about. You can't really see it from here. If you're familiar with the first gen Camaro, you probably know what I'm talking about. But you know, let's take a look at it. I'll show you how to prep it and the products I'm going to use, and hopefully we're getting to spraying here within a matter of a few hours, and everything's going to be awesome. I remember bolting this onto the trunk lid and kind of wondering, like, am I missing something, like a trim strip, or I'm not entirely sure why it'd be so high up. If anything, it'd be a little better if these little ridges weren't there and this would actually sit a little bit flatter onto the deck lid. But that's what I'm looking to get rid of, and especially from the rear of the car. You can see it as well. I just don't, it just looks unfinished. So with any luck, a little bit of work, a little bit of dry time, this should look like one piece. I'm also gonna go ahead and take the time and fill in the corners here once I get everything ready for the fiberglass bonding that I'm gonna do. So should make it just a little bit nicer, a little bit more. You really won't notice it, I guess, unless you're very familiar with them. Give it a little flair of kind of custom work on it. So the first thing is mark my edges so I know where to strip down to bare metal and get the spoiler off. I'm also going to take time and make sure that this is 100% square. It looks like it's back just a touch on this side compared to that one before I get too carried away. I'm pretty excited about this. This might be a pretty neat project. Easy enough to prep. I went ahead and just sanded it down with a DA. 2 fiberglass underneath this lip. And of course down to bare metal where I'm planning on putting the bonding agent. And just did the same across the back. After squaring it up, just a slight adjustment. What I'm gonna do is bring it out about the same, I don't know, slope as the original spoiler is. So I think that's probably going to be about the best looking for what I'm trying to go for here. Using this Fibro Light fiberglass reinforced filler. Stuff is awesome. It bonds to steel and everything. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off with a good degreaser and mix up some of this fiberglass filler and do the first, hopefully the only, section of fiberglass. And then we'll go over it with a sandable, just regular Bondo body filler. And I think we're gonna fix this weird gap the first gens have here shortly. So after using the entire 2 quarts, I used a 3-inch spreader and first off just packed it in that gap that we had before. Went back and pretty much just used the length of the card, which was pretty close to the size of that piece of chipboard that I showed earlier. And the rear is pretty simple. Again, just packing it in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I went ahead and just capped that all off underneath here as well. So what I'll do, 100 grit on this little, I think it's a 4-inch sander, little palm sander. Knock the highs down, and again, use a 4-inch, do a thin coat of some filler and let that dry up good. And then I'll move up to like a 5-inch, 6-inch spreader to kind of get it a little more feathered off. But yeah, for note's sake, my fiberglass wasn't completely full, so just the 2-quart would be fine for you. And I'm using this Rage Gold. Stuff bonds awesome. Works really easy, sands easy. I did it with a VW bus that I restored last year. So those are the materials I'm using. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit this quick with that little palm sander, throw a little skim coat on it, and put her back out in the sun. Let the first coat set up nice and just hit it quick with a DA, knock the highs down, kind of blend it a touch. You're always gonna get some shrinkage and thin spots on that first coat, but that's kind of what I'm shooting for here. I think it's gonna be pretty neat. I'll hit it with another skim coat, probably DA it one more time, and then let it cure overnight, and throw another skim on it and start blocking it from here. So once you get it halfway smooth with the DA, then you'll just skim coat it a couple times, block it out, and it should be nice and straight. So far, not a lot of time, mostly just waiting around, waiting for all the stuff to dry. After a couple rounds of sanding, I've got her all squared away. It's actually prepped here. I just gotta wipe it down. Came out pretty nice. I did already primer the underside of it since I moved to do it in steps like this, but I'm gonna be interested to see how this works. If I need to feather this down, I'll probably end up shooting it in primer and then bolting it back on the car quick before I commit to putting the base and clear on it. I might have to address this little section a touch. I'm not sure if it's gonna look weird on the car or not, so figured I'd put it on, try to fit it, and I do have that going on. Kind of be expected. I think I'm gonna kind of just dish this out into it a couple inches. Just to kind of soften that ridge up a bit. Maybe bring it back 2 to 3 inches, something like that. Try to kind of taper it in. If I don't like it, I can always just put some more filler on it, but yeah, that's so far my issue. After just a touch of massage, and I'm much happier with this. My weather seal is pretty stiff, and it's actually holding this trunk lid up just a touch. So I'll have to order a new seal, which will push this down a little bit more. But I'm gonna put it back on the bench and just finish kind of just hand sanding it in to a little bit more of a contour. So something to keep in mind. But I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Especially if I can get this thing dropped down another 1/8 inch. That would make it a little bit smoother of a transition, but so far, not too bad. Just got done spraying it, and it turned out pretty darn slick. Definitely had a misfortune of having the wind kick up and blow a little trash into the clear. But I think I can wet sand it out. I'm gonna get this thing cured all the way and get it on the car, wet sand it and buff it, and yeah, do a follow-up video of how it looks actually on the vehicle. I think bodywork wise, that makes it look so much better than original. It's just one piece now. And now that I got it wet sanded, first stage or 2 buffed, this is what she ended up looking like. Obviously I gotta paint the rest of the car, but want to plink away at these projects when I can. And yes, I still have more rounds of buffing and everything else to be perfect, but I like it. Seems a lot more, I don't know, just one piece. Like it was supposed to be like this.